Hello there, my name is Jeff Castle and I am the President of the Transit and Paratransit Company. With the new requirements from FMCSA and FTA, we wanted to offer our thoughts on how these relate to you and what you need to do to comply. The subjects we will be addressing are: number one, the FMCSA MAP 21 requirements, for which there are three parts. Number one, entry-level driver training, referred to as ELDT. Number two, the FTA final rule requirements for a safety management system. And number three, creating a safety culture. Let's start with the new FMCSA requirements for the MAP 21 initiative, ELDT or entry-level driver training. Now, transit operations are exempt from FMCSA requirements except for the drug and alcohol prevention training and the CDL licensing training. However, a number of states have adopted the FMCSA requirements in their entirety for operations in their states. So, we are updating our operator development training course to include all the FMCSA's new ELDT requirements. Then, the FMCSA safety management system requirements are now amplified by the new FTA final rule requiring all transit agencies who receive FTA funds to develop, implement and certify a safety management system to improve transit safety. We think this is a great step forwards, and we are helping agencies put their safety management system in place in the right way so that it does achieve the goal, making transit safer. Now, there are four components to the required safety management system. Number one, a safety management policy that focuses on leadership, commitment and accountability. Then number two, a safety risk management process that focuses on identification, assessment and mitigation of hazards. Number three, safety promotion. This refers to communication and training. And then number four, safety assurance, that refers to measuring, monitoring and evaluating the effectiveness of the safety policy. In our new training course, there will be a detailed guide showing you how to develop, implement and certify your safety management system. Our operator development course already addresses everything you need for two of these requirements, safety risk management and safety promotion, so we're well on the way. The safety risk management guide will show you how to comply with the other two requirements, safety management policy and safety assurance. The FTA's safety management system is designed to foster a strong safety culture within transit agencies, and we hear lots of talk about managers wanting to build a safety culture. But when we dig into this, we find they really have no idea what a safety culture is or what they actually want. So, after exhaustive research, we want to present to you our opinion of what a safety culture is and how to create a safety culture, and at the same time be in full compliance with the new FTA safety management system requirements. To make sure that this rule does achieve its goal, we want to explain how following this new rule will enable you to create a safety culture. Oftentimes, words are used for many years and we take for granted that we know the meaning. But in practice, we really have no idea. We just have a feel for what they mean. When we ask managers, supervisors and trainers what either of the words safety or culture really mean, we find they have no idea, nor any idea how to create a safety culture. I'm guessing you have some doubt, so let's find out. Let's start with safety. What does the word safety really mean? And what do you do to create a safe operation? I wish I could ask you all for a response, but obviously I can't. So I visited a nearby bus location and asked the manager, the trainer and the supervisor, and here are their responses.
Safety means having no accidents, no incidences, nothing preventable.
Safety is being aware of your surroundings to prevent any unlikely danger.
Safety to me means that people are responsible for creating actions, policies, and so forth to protect other people from being harmed or put in dangerous situations.
It was obvious that none of them could define the word. In fact, they were not even close. If safety is having no accidents, then what about if I wore a blindfold and ran across a busy street and I made it? I didn't have an accident, but I certainly wasn't safe. Having no accidents is the consequence of safety. It is not safety. The trainer and supervisor merely waffled, realizing they had no idea what safety really means. This is true of almost everyone we meet when we ask this question. We all have a feel for what it means, but almost everyone does not know the real definition. As you watch this vlog, do you know? Do you have any idea? Think for a moment. Really, how can you lead a safe operation if you don't know the true meaning of safety? This is so important, we need to ask that again. How can you lead a safe operation if you don't know the true meaning of safety? The new FTA rule requires each agency to have a safety management policy. You can only develop such a policy in a meaningful way if you understand and enforce what safety is and how to operate safely. So, fully understanding what safety is and how to operate safely is fundamental in complying with the new rule. Okay, so hopefully now we have your interest. Well, here it is. Safety means freedom from risk. If we remove risk, we are safe. If we reduce risk, we are safer. So, if we care about safety, we care about removing or reducing risk. Okay, so what does the word risk mean? Well, risk is the possibility of bodily injury or damage to property. So if we put these two together, safety is freedom from the possibility of bodily injury or damage to property. If we stay back 4 seconds, we reduce the risk of a rear-end collision. If we avoid backing, we remove the risk of a backing accident. If we avoid rushing, we avoid the risk of a rushing accident. If we get enough sleep, we avoid the risk of a fatigue-related accident. Many risks can be reduced and many others can be avoided completely. So, risk is the enemy. We need to remove or reduce risk. To do this, first we need to understand where risk comes from. Well, risk comes from two areas: unsafe conditions and unsafe behaviours. Now, unsafe conditions refers to tyres, brakes, steering, criminal record checks, drug tests, MVRs and the other physical factors. These risks are engineered away and very few accidents are caused by unsafe conditions, less than 1%. Most accidents, over 99%, are caused by unsafe behaviours, and these are conscious and deliberate unsafe behaviours performed by the drivers. Again, this is so important, we need to say it again. Almost all accidents are caused by the conscious and deliberate unsafe behaviours performed by the drivers. If you are following less than 4 seconds back and you rear-end the vehicle in front, the decision to be less than 4 seconds back was conscious and deliberate. If you're rushing and it leads to an accident, the decision to rush was conscious and deliberate. If you do not rock and roll before and during a turn to see around the blind spots and you hit a pedestrian, you consciously and deliberately decided to adopt an unsafe behaviour. In fact, there are 18 conscious and deliberate behaviours that create risk and lead to accidents. These are detailed on this poster. If your drivers avoid the behaviours on the left side of this poster and always follow the behaviours on the right side, they will have removed or reduced risk and everyone will be safe. So let's connect the dots. If you care about safety, and we know you do, you care about removing or reducing risk. To remove or reduce risk, you need to understand the 18 conscious and deliberate behaviours that create risk and persuade your drivers to avoid these behaviours. Understanding this is critical in formulating your agency's overall policy. We suggest that a meaningful policy statement could be: our agency will operate safely by seeking to remove or reduce risk in all areas of operation by instructing all operators to follow the 18 safe practices detailed on the Safety Management System poster. Seems so simple, but is it? I've explained what you need to do to operate safely, but now, how do you put this into practice? Well, to make it happen, you need a culture of safety, a safety culture. And this brings us to the second word, culture. What is a culture and how do we create one? We know a culture is a set of shared attitudes, values, goals and practices that characterises an organisation. The safety management system addresses these under leadership, commitment and accountability. Within a culture, there are norms. Norms are the normal way one does things within that group, and it's the leaders who set the norms. So a culture is the normal and usual way that everyone in that group acts and does things. So if we want a safety culture, we need to foster a culture where everyone at our location does it right the first time, every time. The idea is to create norms such that every manager, supervisor, trainer and driver follow the practices on the right side of the poster and avoid the practices on the left side of the poster. So how do we do that? Well, there are 5 steps. The first one is you need to decide on the norms you seek. This is what you will communicate and train as required under the safety promotion component. Number 2, we want to cement an agreement to follow these norms for all new hires during the pre-hiring stage. Number 3, create a training process to teach all the norms and behaviours. And number 4, utilize a process to continually indoctrinate the desired behaviours, measure, monitor and evaluate. That's the safety assurance component of the FTA safety management system. Number 5, charge all leadership to institute and enforce the desired norms. The safety management policy, leadership, commitment and accountability. Let's go through these one at a time. Number 1, the safest norms have already been created, and these are all included in the TAPTCO Operator Development course. And this course includes every practice required by the new entry-level driver training requirements. So the norms you seek are already established. Number 2, the way to start the indoctrination is when a prospective driver first contacts you. You present the desired behaviours to them. If they visit the facility, walk them over to the poster and explain to them that as you transport passengers, safety is of the highest priority, and only if they agree to follow these 18 practices will you even start their application process. Take them through the practices one at a time. Some you'll have to explain. Tell them they don't have to memorise them, as they will all be covered in the training, but get their commitment to follow these safe practices. By presenting safety right up front and establishing the expectations, you embed the safe practices into their minds and demonstrate how important safety is. Number 3, our operator development course is designed to clearly train all the desired norms and reinforces the desired behaviours in every program. Number 4, while there are only 18 desired behaviours, 18 is still a lot to remember. You can indoctrinate these desired behaviours above and beyond the training by focusing on one a week. Use handouts, posters, radio messages, create a game, have a cake or pizza, and in many different ways communicate the objectives. The next week have no special focus, but then alternate a week on and a week off until all 18 behaviours have been reinforced, and then start again. This is a great practice to indoctrinate the desired behaviours in every employee and create your safety culture. And following this helps you comply with a number of the requirements of the safety management system. And finally, number 5, hold leadership accountable for instituting and enforcing the desired norms. The leadership should decide on the required practices and then enforce them. Following the 18 behaviours should be a condition of a driver's employment. It is what you pay them for. Leaders should take the responsibility for introducing the desired norms and then making them happen. And this is required by the safety management policy, leadership, commitment and accountability. If a driver has an accident, focus on the behaviour that led to the accident and link it back to the poster. Then communicate this to all so they learn from the mistakes. Wow, a lot of information. So let's recap. There is only one way to create a safety culture, and that is to instill norms in everyone at your location, such that they follow the 18 behaviours on the right side of the poster and avoid the behaviours on the left side. It really is that simple. And if you follow the 5 steps to do this as explained above, you will create a safety culture. And this is the goal of the safety management system. When you use our operator development course and follow the above practices to create a safety culture, you will not only be the safest you can be, you will also be in compliance with the new FMCSA entry-level driver training requirements and the FTA's safety management system requirements. At the start of this vlog, we questioned whether you knew the definition of the words safety or culture. Well, now you do, and you know how to operate safely. There is no other way. Really, there is no other way. So get started and be the best that you can be. For any more information, call 1-855-963-3900 or visit our website at www.taptco.com. Thank you.